A very pleasant Tuesday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. Thanks for joining us. A very special good morning to you, Richie B, and the Up and Go team. You have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Thanks for joining us, no matter where you are. Just thanks for joining us. I want to say a very special morning also to the Untengle team. So it is now time for us to have an interview with Danielle Mullings. All right, cool. So it's now 15 minutes after 11 o'clock. I want to say good morning to Danielle. Danielle, you there?
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
Okay, oh, that's you. I'm seeing you on the monitor. Good morning. Wonderful to have you also. All right. I love your hair. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. So we've been hearing about Danielle, and before you start talking about your multidimensional youth leadership role, let me ask you a little bit about who you were before, your community, your school, that kind of thing.
Sure. So I currently go to the University of the West Indies. Previously, I would have gone to Campion College in high school. It has always been my love and passion for technology and people overall that has really driven me. I think I've gotten into leadership since when? I would say since maybe the end of Campion. So I was the head girl of Campion College. And then I took a gap year before coming here to the university. I'm born and grown in Kingston. And yeah, that's a bit about me.
Okay, so what you're pursuing now is something you've always wanted to do.
Yes, so I've always had two interests, actually. I've always been interested in technology, but also just media and the arts and leadership as well. So I kind of float between the three to really find that the combination satisfies me.
Okay, wonderful. So you are considered to be a multidimensional youth leader. What does that mean?
So it literally means that, you interface in different spaces. And so for me, today you may see me doing a tech interview or so on, or you may see me in my work realm looking at, digital technologies being implemented in healthcare strategies. Tomorrow you may see me doing an interview as a guild president for the University of the West Indies. And the day after that, I may be on TV, hosting one of the TV shows.
Wonderful. That sounds like an exciting life. So, okay, fine. So you've served on youth councils locally and internationally. When you say you've served, what does that really entail? Give me the details of that.
So what I like to do is kind of ensure that the Caribbean is represented. So in the international space, one of the councils I served on was the Young Experts in Tech for Health. And we're looking at, again, how can digital technologies be included in healthcare strategies? And that's how I got introduced to advocacy overall, actually. And so I really brought that back into my leadership as the guild president here at UWI Mona. And we also serve on different committees at every level of the university, not only for the Mona campus, but also across all campuses across the Caribbean.
Okay.
So it's just ensuring that the youth voice is represented.
Yes.
But also I think sometimes they assume that, you're only going to think as a young person or you can't contribute much. So I also ensure I try to bring across a holistic perspective, if you will, that's looking at the overall developmental goals of the university. And what's the best way forward as a people.
Wonderful. I love that holistic approach. And I also love the fact that you're not just serving the University of the West Indies, but you're actually interfacing with other tertiary institutions and others generally, right?
Definitely, yes.
Love that. Okay, so let's talk now about your cultural retention through documentary. So you are an aspiring filmmaker. So let's start there first. Aspiring filmmaker meaning what? How far have you reached with your aspirations?
All right, great question. I don't always get to speak about the film side as much. And so I'm happy to have this. But yes, I've loved, I started off with a love for photography. So when I was little, I was always saving up money to buy a camera. Now I always say when I finally saved up enough, it took me about 4 years in high school, and I bought my first camera. That was a life-changing moment for me. Mm-hmm. So I started doing photo shoots, and then I started doing film. TVJ took me on for an internship after they saw some films that I did on my own. And so I've worked with them to produce, I think we've done about maybe 9 or so on features and documentaries. I worked on many different TV shows as a production assistant. and I may be working on one later this year as well. One that I've done on my own would be, I did one on Treasure Beach, looking at the fishing village, and just some of the thoughts there. That's one I did with a company. Another one I did was about my journey as a youth leader and young person. So I'd call it To Build a Head Girl. I'd wanted to show the student body that, it's not something that happens overnight, but something that anybody can do. It doesn't have to be head girl, but whatever your aspiration is, you can do it.
Right.
Just keep at it over the years and you'll grow over time.
Right. Wonderful. So I know one of your passions you just spoke about is advocacy, particularly youth advocacy. I know that you want to talk about cultural retention through documentary, and I want to spend a lot of time there. But is there any other passion you have when you go out with that camera, whether it's a still camera or whether it's another, what you call it, video camera? Is there any passion that you have? Is there anything special that you're looking for?
So the real passion for me really comes from sort of being a conduit for persons to share their own stories, right? And when I travel and go abroad, I always look at, the museums and so on, and they always have some very well documented histories of these other countries. And so for me, it's really just finding those stories and cultural items that can really inspire other persons. One that I worked on that I really enjoyed was with TVJ on the Coral Gardens incident.
Oh, good. You had a chance to do that.
Yes.
Wonderful.
A couple years back.
Wonderful. And what did you think of that? What happened to you while you were doing that?
So, it basically is like a research project, because in order to do a documentary and come up with the right questions or do an interview, you have to go through a lot of information. And so it was interesting to first be going through all of that and saying, oh, this was something that you've heard mentioned here and there, but you've never really gone in depth into the information. Then the other side to it is actually traveling to a Nyabingi Center in Mobe. And, we're speaking to persons who were survivors from the incident. And so hearing them tell their own story, it was like, this is one of the few spaces they got to be able to just speak from their perspective. And then on top of that, we had gone to, I believe it was a political ombudsman we went to interview, just to hear from her perspective, how it came across. And then after that, to sit down and now tie the story together.
Wow.
All these different perspectives coming together. It's extremely interesting to me. I really enjoy it.
I can just imagine. So as a filmmaker, I'm just picturing your footage and the variety of footage that you got and also the confusion as to where do I begin?
Yeah, of course.
So where did you begin?
You get so much footage that you really wonder. I mean, and you also have to tie it in with, what articles or so on from that period, from the newspaper or, different clippings there. So it's to begin, you have to, I think, figure out what connects to the audience most. And I feel as though persons sharing their personal experience does that. Right? So I've worked with Miss Judith Alberga. She was, like my boss, essentially.
Hi, Judith.
The main producer. She was the lead on it, So I really followed her lead. But I definitely enjoyed it. And I'll be doing more of that this summer as well. I have something I'll be doing in Guatemala for a couple of weeks, just kind of documenting and this footage of this program. So I enjoy it. Like I said, it's just to figure out what connects to the people more.
Right. So this fits right inside of your desire or your passion about social change and cultural retention, because this is a lot of cultural retention there, and talk about social change.
Definitely. Because a part of advocacy or social change, is first making people aware to know what has happened. And that's what you get through allowing persons to share their story.
Right. I'm just looking at you now. I know that you're a pretty young person. You've gotten a chance to talk to the elders at the Nyabingi Center, like you said you did. And you wear locks. And I don't have to go into the details as to why. You just wear locks. And when you think about all of the reasons and all of the tribulations and all of the disrespect that these elders faced, just because of the very same hairstyle you have on your head, what did it do for you?
Well, it's very interesting to consider, to be honest with you, because although I'm not Rastafarian, I, generally speaking, would be sympathetic to any person being undermined or not valued fully. So, that being said, it was interesting to hear them speak on their perspective. And definitely as the highlighted some of the injustice that they faced, it was like, wow. And the other side to it, was also looking on and saying, this group within Jamaica has contributed so much to our international, acclaim. You look at Bob Marley, you look at, other significant singers like that who have, anywhere you go across the world and you mention Bob Marley, they know it's Jamaica you're talking about, Mm-hmm. So it was interesting to think that they've gone through that period of feeling undermined, mm-hmm. even though they brought so much to Jamaica overall.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure the documentaries that you do in the future, you will have a social conscience. And that is very important as we document our cultural retention. We have to be sensitive and have an empathy for the culture that we belong to.
Exactly. 100% agree.
Okay, so that experience is, I wouldn't say behind you because that's always going to be with you. So, so my question to you next would be, what are you looking forward to documenting next?
So next I'm looking at, of course, I want to focus on the Caribbean overall, but I'm also looking into Latin America. So there's one documentary that I did in 2019, and that one was in Bolivia, actually. So it was actually done in Spanish as well. That was my first time doing a Spanish one. So it was interesting because at that point, I would say my Spanish was maybe 60% or 70%. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know 100% of what they were saying. But what I actually used to edit that one was their passion. I looked for the moments when their eyes lit up, and I looked at their body reaction.
Wow.
And so it was interesting because when I did understand fully what they were saying and I looked at my edit, I was like, wow.
On point?
Yeah, it was on point. It's interesting.
Very good. Very good.
There are different ways to identify that. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to recording more. I want to look at more cultures. I really find the study of culture overall pretty interesting. And this, of course, persons are surprised at because I study tech. Yes. It's like sciences versus the arts. But I think the two go hand in hand.
You can make anything go hand in hand as long as it is coming from you. It goes hand in hand. We have been taught that there's certain things that don't go hand in hand. I don't know who determined that, but it's like the Most High has put so much inside of us that of diverse talents that just enjoy.
Exactly.
So my last word to you, because I know you have some time limits, but my last word to you would be, okay, as president of the Mona Guild, and that means you interface, apart from the youth that you interface with in your advocacy sessions, you also interface with your colleagues at university. What have you learned so far that you want to particularly share with young people generally?
I would say one thing I've learned is that an area that really holds us back is just our belief in self, our self-esteem overall. And I think that is one area that we have to focus on in youth development, because young people are so much stronger when they believe in themselves and believe in their potential to be great. So I'm always telling young people that, believe in your astronomical aspirations.
Wow.
And set foot on that journey. And it's okay if you make mistakes, because, if something doesn't go well, then you know that may not be the way you want to go. If it does go well, then it is the way you want to go. Either way, it's valuable,
Right.
So I always encourage persons to just believe in themselves and feel free to make mistakes.
Wonderful. I would love to see your documentaries coming up. I would love to see the treatment of it. I would like to see how you interpret your stories. I would just love to see that. So,
I appreciate it.
So all the best. Have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful life. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this interview.
You're most welcome. Okay, what a wonderful interview. And she's doing something totally different. And as we move forward, I was talking to a carpenter over the weekend who made some garden benches for me. And when I saw this man work, young man, I've always been saying from the day I came off of my resignation that I really want to talk to some trade people. And we had a wonderful opportunity to talk to mother and daughter plumbers. And we definitely want to explore that area some more because it's something that we need to explore more. It hasn't really been explored. Everybody kind of want to be one thing, either lawyer, doctor, or Indian chief, or DJ. And, you know, we definitely need to not move away, but just expand. And so I was talking to the carpenter on the weekend and telling him that we want to do an interview with him. And he was like, me, miss? And I'm like, yes, you. Because my joy and my mission is just talking to people. So tradespeople, get yourselves ready because we're definitely going to be going in depth more as we did with that mother and daughter team. We want a diverse mix of professions, people from different backgrounds that we can relate to. Danielle, continue to do what you do, and I have every faith in you. We're going to take a break. We soon come. Okay, so it's now time for us to join Beauregard and the Global Connection in the Global Connection. Good afternoon, Beauregard.
Good afternoon, Mama Kelly. How are you doing this week?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, enjoying the summer type weather here in New York City, all across the tri-state area. It's looking very, very summerish, so I'm happy for that.
That's nice. When New York had it hot bad, do you know?
Yeah, man.
Yo.
We start one up already.
I tell you, because when me know, because me born up here in Jamaica, I know someone born up over there.
Definitely,
Yes.
it's burning up on this side.
Yes,
so
it is.
we give thanks to that because it's been a while. You know, the local heat has been in and out, so now it looks like it's setting in properly, and the summer is actually here. So, you know, we're gonna enjoy that.
Right. You know, let me ask you something. I know that our guest, JoJo-Mac, do you know anything about this artist?
I have heard the name.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, like myself, I've heard the name. A colleague of mine gave me one of her songs a few months ago. And like yourself, I'm looking forward to finding out more because there are so many artists out there, Beauregard, that are doing. I mean, they're singing.
Exceptionally well.
Some of them doing exceptionally well, and we're not even bringing them out. You know, So I'm looking forward to hearing more from her.
And that's a good thing that we have this platform, Mama Kelly, where we can, you know, feature and highlight some of the artists that are out there doing their thing and they're not getting the proper recognition. So, you know, it's a good thing that we have been bringing on artists on this platform to actually highlight their talents.
It's something that I'm very happy about too, and I'm happy that we have the ability to do that. We actually can do that, you know? Yes. So what's happening on your side? What else?
Well, today here in the United States, it's primary day in the United States, and 5 states are actually taking part in the primaries today, which is Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas, and which other state? I said 5, right? Well, I just named 4, so I have 4 states here. Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, and Texas are taking part in the primaries today. And of course, we're watching Georgia because Georgia has been a very, very important state as far as the elections are concerned. And now we see our sister Stacey Adams, who's getting ready to run for governor in that state. So we wish her all the best.
Yes, I hear you.
Yes.
I find this a very interesting piece of information. Restaurants of Jamaica, the company that runs the KFC and Pizza Hut restaurants on the island, says it is offering the best pay package in its sector in its effort to recruit 800 new team members. And that in itself is wonderful news. And one of the things that I found interesting is when they say that I don't want to get specific on the numbers, but they do say that they're not going to be rejecting any special kind of person. You know that KFC and all them people, they've been rejecting people that have tattoos or way out hairstyles or that kind of thing. So they're suggesting now that they will be accepting people with tattoos, and I don't know what them call way out here. They didn't say way out, but the hairstyles that, you know, not your typical hairstyle. So that is good. It's good to know that they're employing people and they're not discriminating. Basically, that is what I want to say.
That's a very good thing. You know, people have different choices in how they appear. I'm not saying that they're trying to be disrespectful to any establishment or anything like that. It's just, you know, we're living in 2022. You're going to find people with piercings. You're going to find people with tattoos. You know, it's up to the employer or the employee to determine who works at their company. So it's a very good thing that they're doing that, and I agree, because here in the United States, that's nothing that they discriminate about when it comes to tattoos and things of that nature. You know, you find people in all types of jobs with those tattoos and stuff like that. So
And
that shouldn't be a problem.
It's something that I actually enjoy with particularly first world countries. But it is interesting to note, Beauregard, that even countries where we are the minority, it seems as though sometimes they accept how we look even more than countries where we are the majority.
True.
Because
True
just
indeed.
like you say, I see people your side in all of these franchises just basically looking clean.
Yeah. I mean, the tattoo doesn't determine how a person act, you know. That's a stereotype, you know. People feel like people who has a tattoo, they live a certain type of lifestyle, and they do certain things, and they're not progressive and things of that nature, which is definitely not the case.
It's a judgment. They feel the same about people who wear dreadlocks. The amount of people that wear dreadlocks who have no religious affiliations is just a black hairstyle.
True indeed. True indeed.
Your time.
And speaking of jobs, on this side, United Airlines worker was fired after a brawl with an ex-NFL player at the Newark airport in New Jersey. There was a video that was circulating over the weekend where we saw the ex-NFL player and the worker for United Airlines actually getting into a brawl. The video started with the airline worker slapping the NFL player.
Ooh.
But come to find out that, you know, there was a little bit before that they were actually going back and forth, and then they seem to have stopped. And then the video that we actually saw first was the one where the airline worker went back up to the NFL player and slapped him.
Oh.
So there was a little altercation between them before, then they stopped, and then the airline worker continued. And he was fired, and the NFL player was arrested.
Ooh,
So,
you see how dangerous it can be when you only get piece of a story.
Yeah.
That's why when them say the whole truth and nothing but the truth, it makes sense, you know. Because if you got a piece of that, it would have a piece of truth. And
Yes,
like say it would have be a
yes.
lie.
because to be honest, at first I thought it was just the airline worker just slapped him for no reason. But when I saw the full video, I saw that they were going back and forth, you know, a little tussling back and forth. Then they stopped, and then the airline worker, like him catch himself now and him go back up to the NFL player and
What you
slap
just
him
do?
in the slap him in the face. So, which I should say, the airline worker seemed to be a white man, and the NFL player is a black guy. So he was arrested, and the NFL player was. I mean, the NFL player was arrested, and the airline worker was fired from the job. So I guess both of them are now paying the penalties.
So who lick who first?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. It looks like they were the original video, or the full video, I should say, started with both of them, like, you know, wrestling back and forth with each other. Then they separated, and then the video that went out first showed the airline worker slapping the black guy in the face, which was basically a continuation of what was going on before. So me using my senses know that, you know, it wasn't just a slap out of nowhere. They were going at it before.
But of course, that would be sensational for say the white somebody has slapped the black. You know,
Yes,
that's
and
you know.
that's what went out to the world first, you know, so people started making assumptions and judgments of what was taking place.
I'm sure the airlines would have the entire footage, because it would seem to me that whoever did lick the person first, whoever licked the person first, whoever responded to the lick, what you arrest them for? If somebody lick me defending myself.
Exactly.
Not that I mean,
So I don't know who hit who first, but they were fighting.
right, they were fighting.
Right.
So no crime, no name for fighting. No.
And they're two grown men. I mean,
Yeah.
one was on the job. You can't do that on the job.
Straight.
You know, but if somebody also comes to your job and provoke a certain way, you know, some jobs are like, you know, take the slap and call the police, or some people are quicker to respond than the police. So
And some
You know.
people are like, me lick your back and me lose my work. Me good
Exactly.
with that. You know what I mean? Did you see the video with the gentleman putting his hand in the lion
oh god,
in the lion? It's not
that was
funny.
really in Jamaica.
Oh, you mean if it was really in Jamaica? Look here, look here. What can I say?
So I have
Something?
to ask Mama Kelly, because
no,
me I wonder if people out there Jamaica no more sensible than that to know. You can't put your hand in a lion mouth.
Me say the amount of proverb will tell you from your little picnic say. Not literally you know if you do it, but if you do it literally. But can I tell you something to Beauregard? I figured it was just a thing, a video circulating on social media. But here is a story. It says the management of Jamaica Zoo has been doing everything to assist the man, an attendant, whose finger was actually bitten by a lion at the Lacovia St. Elizabeth attraction. And the incident was captured in a video that went viral on the weekend. You know, an attendant, then him don't know better than that?
He should have. He should have known better.
Come on!
If you know, a lion not eat grass, Mama Kelly. I mean.
I tell you, let me tell you something. You know, so from morning, minister, they must say they don't hear me laugh from morning. Well, you can't say that again. Because, what you know? He actually it's like him trying to say to the lion, why me here say you're a mouth mash, you know? So, me go push my hand inside of your cage to see if I chew. He must that he must say.
I feel be lion not eat grass, Mama Kelly.
No, they don't. They eat people's finger. No, to me, no disrespect to the gentleman, but I saw some level of provocation.
Yes. I did see the video also, and you know, he was there taunting the lion for true. You can't do them thing there. I mean, outside of the fence is alright, but when you go past the fence and put your hand in the cage now, then all bets are off.
It's like him have somebody that we might try prove so the lion like him. I must not. No, we are trying to work out what could that inner female well know him the lion don't like him to that.
maybe he had some private training lessons with the lion and never try to show them off. I don't know, some circus thing.
But Beauregard, like yourself, I could not believe it was actually not just real, but it was here in Jamaica. You can't say, Beauregard, you can't say so much idiot there, you know. I mean, basically that's what you're trying to suggest.
No. I said I can't believe that happened in Jamaica because we know Jamaicans smarter than that.
You. Yeah. Clearly not so much. Believe me. So them investigate. It look like his finger. Look here. You see, if it's just his finger,
he lost his finger.
It don't say that. It says that they are actually investigating. Let me tell you what them say. Them say, the finger gone. Me here say the finger gone. But look here. Can I tell you? I thought that the hand is gone because the lion make off time, you know. The lion must say, you see me come up here all day long and you feel me in a good mood. You could have really feel me in a one good mood. And you know long me in this.
In this cage, yeah?
You know long me in this cage, yeah? And you think me in a good mood? All right, watch this.
You know, there was a show that I used to watch on TV called When Animals Attack.
Yes.
I used to always watch that show When Animals Attack, and sometimes it's the pets that you have at home. You don't know when they're gonna turn around and, you know, attack you and do all kind of crazy things. So, you know, by nature and by law, you know, animals are for the open. They're for the wild, you know, and we domesticate a lot of them. But, you know, you have to be very, very careful in the things that we do.
Absolutely. Which one we soon get a break? But which one of the dog them have the big head again? Is the pit bull
and the Rottweiler.
Look here, I saw a video. This woman was selling she had a yard sale, and she had a pit bull running up and down in the yard. And somebody who was coming into the yard sale says to her, "Is it all right to come in?" And she, fine. I said, fine with that. Look here, a pit bull that, you know, fine. You better tie up that.
Mama Kelly, I don't play those games.
No, sir.
I feel the same way. Sometimes I go around people and them have the dog and the dog will come up to you and them will say, don't move. I'm not bite him. Oh, yeah? Bite? I not even want him smell me.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, because they must say, I must smell if you get used to me.
I don't want to use to me. I don't want to use to me neither. No, so you're used to me for.
You know that happened to a nephew of mine. He went to his friend's house. My sister's son, he went to his friend's house when he was younger. And the dog actually attacked him and bit up his face.
Oh, my goodness.
You know? So he has that scar to this day.
There's a friend of mine who has a pit bull. And there are some cows that graze opposite his property. And the same cuddly little pit bull, I don't know if you know any, I don't know none, but he might make it sound like him have a cuddly little pit bull. Get away and go into the pasture, which part the cow there. And can I tell you something? The pit bull jump up on the cow and rip off the cow ears. And can I tell you what happened after that? The cow make one buck after the pit bull. And he died. The pit bull died. But me I say to my brethren and say, oh, good. Eh. Because, yes, I will take over. No. Bite off the cow ears. So, and this was a cuddly little pit bull for him.
Right.
But not for the cow.
Exactly.
It's your little pet, but it's not my own.
Animals are always going to have animal instincts, Mama.
Same way, sir.
Yeah, man.
Same way, sir. So we're going to take a break. We'll soon come. And before we get right inside that interview with JoJo-Mac, one of our listeners says, no, sir, that one they shot. Lion no eat grass, dead with laugh. But you know, we say, Morgan, you know this reggae song. Bushman sing the song. I'm on a lion, I'm on a vegetarian. And the hungry lion not, where I'm on a vegetarian.
Why they get me that trouble?
You say all the best to that the lion there, but don't take him to heart. Number one of there. Anyway. Hey.
Oh man. Oh man. Big up all of the Rasta man them out there, all lion, all lioness. We love and respect and rate to them. Yeah man.
Hey. Anyway. Me tell me listen to them so we're gonna get a laugh when Beauregard come in and tell them. Anyway, that's that. So we just want to say welcome to our guest, and our guest is Joan JoJo-Mac McKenzie. Good afternoon, JoJo.
Good afternoon, Miss Kelly. You all have me cracking up. And I was thinking the same thing, that Rasta lion eat grass.
There's a distinct difference. Anyway, so first of all, welcome to the Bridge and also Irie Jam Radio. So we're streaming to the Tri-State as we speak. So our co-host is Beauregard, and he that's the gentleman you heard me talking to.
Right,
so
right.
He's also going to be asking you questions, all right?
Good afternoon,
Definitely.
JoJo.
Good afternoon, Beauregard.
Right. Okay. So while researching, the first thing I said to Troy, who was the one who first gave me a song from JoJo-Mac and who asked for this interview, the first thing I said to him is that I would love to talk to JoJo-Mac and find out more about her, because the song that he gave me is an awesome song. So let us go back. Tell us about from early days, where you're from in Jamaica and all of that, how you got into the music.
Well, I'm out of Kellett's, Clarendon in Jamaica. You know, a little town off of Kellett's they call it Comsey. So that's where I'm from. I was born in St. Catherine at the hospital, but as soon as my band them came, straight to Comsey. So I'm straight out of Comsey. And I've been singing since I was a little girl in church actually. Always singing in church. At 3 years old, I would cry to go sing before the pastor preach. So it became a thing, you know. Yeah, it became a thing. And fast forward into high school. I went to Technical High School, and while I was there, I actually won like a segment of Tastee Talent Contest, I was supposed to do a song with Tough Gang after I did that, after the effort, but that never worked out. We have to ask Sangy Davis about that one day.
But it didn't
work
out.
We
want to talk about it, although it never worked out. But let Beauregard ask you his question.
Well, to follow up, what led to the production of that song?
Well, actually, it's a long story, and it's a very complicated story because, apparently, I remember going to Tough Gang when they were up by Hope Road, and, so excited to go do my song. But if I should say so myself, Sang had other things on his mind.
Oh.
So it never worked out, Never worked out.
Make we left it at said never work out. But at the time, you were 16 years old. And
Yes.
you actually did an original song. You're the first person to win with an original song.
Yes.
So you've been writing songs from you're pretty young.
Yes. That song that I won with at 16, I wrote at 13.
Oh.
Wow.
And
Yes.
the name of the song is I'm in love, then it's who you was in love with, my girl.
A little boy cry.
What little boy in your class?
Yeah, he lived across the street. He was my mom's friend, son, right? But every time I see him coming out or coming from school, I would run inside and peep at him through the window.
So, did he ever find out that the song was written for him?
Well, years and years later, when we were grown up.
Okay, I couldn't wait to ask you that, Jojo. I could not wait.
I was like, what this little girl had on her mind.
At 16, when you were writing those songs, who were some of the female artists that you were idolizing at the time? Who did you want to be like?
Well, at that time, in my household, we didn't listen to a lot of reggae. My mom, she played a lot of, Motown, R&B type things, and I was into the Diana Rosses. But one female artist that I really was into from Jamaica, two of them actually, was Marcia Griffiths and Cynthia Slash. They were the ones that inspired me out of Jamaica, but there were a lot of other like R&B artists that I really gravitated to.
Right. Cynthia Slash, what an excellent singer she was.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. So I know you're very disappointed because the Tough Gang studio experience didn't materialize, right?
Yes.
So you went to the United States when?
Well, I came to the United States in 1983, actually, and I went on to just right away. I started a band.
Right away, you started what?
I started a band.
Okay.
And I used to go by the name Goldie. I even entered the Festival Song Contest back in '92 down in Jamaica.
Okay.
As Goldie, the year that Heather Grant won.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I was that girl that the church people were calling about and telling, take her off our video. Take her off our video. She wine up too much. And, it's amazing because my wine wasn't really no wine. I still can't wine to this day. So I don't know what they were fussing about.
So it was a decent wine.
Yeah, I call it my country wine. You see it, right?
Oh my God, you're something else. Anyway, see, this is what I wanted to know. I kind of wanted to know what kind of person you are, and we're working it out very, very slowly, but but surely. All right, so you didn't give up on your musical desires. You went right ahead and you formed a band. So tell us when your next significant musical encounter happened.
Well, throughout the years, let me tell you, I always worked for myself, so I had like businesses like nightclubs and restaurants and hair salons, and the last thing I had was a hair salon. I remember back in 1999, I decided, you know what, I'm sick of this business thing. This is not what I want to do. I started the hair salon in order to have an income while I chased the music, but I was stuck inside the salon. So I decided after a few years to give it up and to move to Florida where I could be close to Jamaica and then go to Jamaica to because they say you have to go to Jamaica if you want boss, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to Jamaica, rented a place and everything, and Ernest Wilson introduced me to Cox and Dodd in 2001, the end of 2001, when I was getting ready to come back home, after almost a year there. And when, I met Cox and Dodd, the day I met him, I made my first song for him. I actually went into his office. Mrs. Dodd was so nice to me. Everybody was wondering, how come Mrs. Dodd so nice to you? You're a woman. She's not nice to women. She don't embrace women like that. So how come, as soon as you come in, she just take to you and send you right back there to Mr. Dodd? So when I went back to see Mr. Dodd, he asked me, he said, do you have something for me to hear? Because I told him, Ernest told me to meet him there, but Ernest was late, right? So he said, do you have something for me to listen? I had the CD in my hand, but I totally forgot I had the CD in my hand. I just started singing something that I was making up in my head. And he told me, he said, go ahead and sit down and in the front with Mrs. Dodd, and we'll talk when Ernest gets here. And 2 hours later, I was making my first song for him.
Wow.
I made 22 songs in 8 months. I stayed with them for 8 months, 22 songs. And, he was in the process of working on my album when he passed.
Did any of them get released?
Well, he released one early on, a cover song that I did called Victim by Candace Staten, and he also did another one called Good Girl Go Bad, which was a reggae track, but it didn't get any promotion, so of course there again it fell by the wayside.
What was it like being around legends such as Sir Coxsone Dodd and even Mr. Ernest Wilson, who you said you met and introduced you to Sir Coxsone?
Oh my God, it was amazing because, I mean, I was full of myself then, like, I'm working with Coxsone Dodd. I did 5 songs with Ernest Wilson because what Mr. Dodd wanted to do, he said, you know what, I want to do a duets album with you and Ernest. And we started working on the album, but after 5 songs, Ernest wasn't showing up. So he decided, he said, you know what, I'm going to do an album with just you. And that's how we ended up doing 22 songs. Out of the 22 songs, also, 2 of them was with Sleepy, Horace Andy. He actually came in the studio one day and heard me singing and asked Mr. Dodd, can I do a song with her? And Mr. Dodd said yes. And I had a song that, was good for 2 people. So we did that song, and when we were finished with it, he asked Mr. Dodd again. He said, can I do another song with her? Mr. Dodd said, Jackson, you have something? He called everybody Jackson, right?
Yeah, right.
He said, Jackson, you have something? He said, no, I'll write something, Mr. Dodd. Mr. Dodd said, you know what, Jackson? Make sure you do the writing, because our pen's stronger than yours.
I agree with him. I agree with Mr. Dodd. Because Jackson sound like him up to something different. But look here, But, you know something though, Jojo? This is a question that I would like to know. After reading a bit of your experiences, especially when you started out at 16 with a perfect opportunity to record, and then Mr. Dodd died after so many albums, and did it ever occur to you that perhaps this is just not going to happen for you?
I never tell myself no, it's never going to happen, but I wonder who goes to Mr. Williams vote I said, no one, somebody go down Mr. Williams.
It feel Williams-ish. Oh my God. Here's something else. Oh God.
But no, I can't give up because it's like a burning feeling inside me, this music. I can't give up on it no matter what I try. I've done so many other things that I've been successful at and could be truly successful at. But it's the music that I keep coming back to.
Yes. You talk about things that you've been truly successful at. Let us talk about, you also are a presenter, right?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
All right. Well, I didn't study for it or anything, probably like you did, because you're so excellent at what you do, and I could even dream of being a little bit like you. But what happened was, I realized that I wasn't getting my songs played a lot on the radio, and I'm like, I think I'm making good music. Why aren't they playing my songs? And every time I'm hearing the same 30 people and I'm not in it, I mean? So I started calling up radio stations, and I'm like, what it is that a girl needs to do, who do I need to tap in order to get my music played? I wasn't getting any good responses, so I started listening to a lot of radio stations across the world, because I do listen to a lot of radio, and I realized that the one thing that was missing, especially with the foreign stations, was news reports. There were news reports missing from most of the programs. 99% of the programs are missing news reports. So I created an entertainment report called The Buzz with Pistol, and it's mostly about reggae artists and Caribbean artist. And then I also did a headline news report that's mostly about Jamaica and the Caribbean. And I started presenting it to them, and like this was a deal that I presented to them. Look, I noticed you don't have any news on your station. How about I give you the news and you play a JoJo-Mac track at the end as a sponsor track.
Wow, innovative, very innovative.
So now I have like 72 stations across 8 countries. Yes, if you listen to most of the stations in London, I'm the one who present them with the news, who provide them with the news. And so you could hear my songs playing all over London right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how I got into being a presenter, and I'm loving it.
That was very creative.
Very.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to come back with the song that I know that was sent to me by my colleague Troy Fenton. And then it will give Beauregard and I a chance to actually talk about it. All right?
All right.
Okay. So if you've just joined us, we have on the phone none other than JoJo-Mac, and you're actually listening to one of her more recent tracks. It's called Fight for Life. So thank you very much for joining us. So that's the one that I have, JoJo.
Yes.
So, Beauregard?
I love the message. I truly love the message in this one. Can't give up. The fight continues. The struggle continues each and every day. You have to remember, so you have the strength to fight for what is right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. As Beauregard mentioned, first of all, you have a very distinct voice, and you can sing. You are a singer. You can sing. And not only just that, but your voice is distinct. So you can be distinguished from other voices, which is always a good thing to happen. But as Beauregard said, let us just examine the lyrics. It says we're rising up. Some people don't like that. They're afraid of us heading to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. We got to hold on to the ball. Can't let it drop. This sounds like a journey of our people.
Exactly, and that's what it was meant to sound like, because living in America, you get to see all of that stuff going on every day in front of you. And right after the George Floyd thing, which the whole world knows about, there were a lot of other smaller things happening all over the place. Not that they were insignificant, but they weren't so publicized. And I'm thinking to myself, I saw, I'm not going to call names, but I see some of our top men and women who are, doing great things. They start targeting them, and I realized that slavery not over.
Absolutely.
It's still here.
Absolutely.
All of that thing is still here. So we're not free, so to speak.
Absolutely. Did living in the United States heighten your awareness of the struggles of our black people?
Oh, definitely, because when living in Jamaica, you don't get to see that. You don't get to see that firsthand. I've never experienced it myself firsthand, but I've seen it happen in front of me. I've seen it happen with people around me. So, yes, I realize that, equality is not just something that are given to us. We have to fight for it.
Where do you get the strength and the encouragement from to actually tackle issues such as this? I mean, it's not a popular thing to do in this day and age where, artists actually take their time to sit down and pen a song that's speaking to the issues and the reality of what is going on in today's world, because they might feel like it might not get the airplay. How do you continue, or how did you come up with this idea to write this song at this time?
I thought about that, but the idea of writing the song and knowing that, I might not even get the airplay, and knowing that, it might even stop me from getting certain shows if certain people hear it. That wasn't an issue for me, because, I feel like, I'm purposed. And the purpose that I have is not just to sing songs for people to dance to and laugh to and whatever. I want to make a difference. I want to make a stamp somewhere along the line in my lifetime, like Bob Marley did, and I appreciate him so much, and I'm like, why not, do what he does?
Right. Here.
He did, actually.
Can I suggest to you, JoJo, that the very thing that you are thinking about not getting airplay because of the substance might be the very reason that you will now start to get airplay. Because I really do mean that, because at the end of the day, we want to see someone who stands up for something. We don't want to see someone who just want to sing. As you say, you don't want to sing for people because you want them to like you. You have a mission.
Right, exactly. And you know what? After I wrote that song, I said to myself, you know what? I started something that I'll have to finish, because a lot of my songs, I've written, you know, songs that are like cultural and reality based and stuff, and I've also written a lot of little love songs and dance songs and stuff like that. But after I wrote that song, I'm like, there's no turning back now. I got to keep this journey. So most of my songs now that I'm writing are based on that kind of reality.
Yeah.
You know, for you to even say that you might not get any shows for the message that's in the song, that is a reality. You know, it's happened to artists before back in the past. I believe it was Billie Holiday who faced a lot of situations like that for the song that she made, Strange Fruit, speaking to the injustices of black people being hung and lynched from trees in the South back in the days, and the FBI actually targeted her for, you know, pointing out that message in her performances.
But really,
yeah, because, you know,
go ahead, JoJo.
Well, I was saying, you know, that, you know, when I look at my life and look at the music and what I want from the music, yeah, I want a big house on the hill and everything, but that's not the legacy that I'm looking for. I'm looking for to make an impact. You know, when I'm gone, I don't want people to be walking past the house and say, you know, that was JoJo-Mac's house. You know, yeah, that was JoJo-Mac. JoJo-Mac didn't live there, so yeah, I don't want that.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah, I want them to be able to say, listen to JoJo-Mac music. It's still doing things in our lives.
Right. I got this song on a compilation CD, and let me just say, when my colleague said to me, I wanted to talk to JoJo-Mac, immediately I said to him, yes, I want to talk to her because she do a song named Fight for Your Life, where just stood out. So, you know, just be encouraged that there are people out there. At the end of the day, you really want earplay. And it don't have to be from whoever. It can be from whoever. No, sir.
Right? You know, when you told me that he gave you this song that you have to play, I immediately knew what song it was. Yeah. Because I put out an album after Fight for Life. The Fight for Life was a single I did for a label called Revolution, right? And he's actually my cousin. You know, I found out he's my cousin recently. The only person I know of in the business that, like myself, from my family. So, you know, I did that for him. And after that, I put out an album with some dance tracks and stuff. You know, I did a couple of songs with Chaka Demos. One of them is on it. And, you know, that album, I think, is a fantastic album. It's called Get Out the Way. But for some reason, this is a song that keeps coming up.
Yes.
This is a song that keeps coming up. But like I said, that album was written a long time ago. We just redo some of the songs and put it out just so the songs them don't go to waste.
Right.
But no, the journey is different now. It's different now.
Right. Wow. You know, I'm looking at some of the comments on my phone from my friends. One of my friends, who's actually from Clarendon, she has so many laugh emojis, and she says she's very funny. You're very funny for true. But let me ask you this, though. Are you so encouraged by the song Fight for Life that you are now going to really take another leap and forward into the business?
Yeah, man, listen. I've never backed out at all. Okay. I'm always in it, like pushing my head up to get squeezed up in a door and all them something there. But still I push out my head every time. I haven't stopped. You know, in 2014, I got a big opportunity to sing with Black Uhuru.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I sang with Black Uhuru in 2014. I started, and I thought when I got the opportunity to sing with them, because I had known Ducky for years. He produced an album for me when I was Goldie. He produced an album back in the 90s, and you know, when he asked me to sing with him, you know, I told him, I said, you know what, I want to be your opening act. That's the only way I'm going to be singing with you, because I still want to continue my journey as JoJo-Mac.
Yes.
You know, So I started singing with them, so I could be the opening act for their shows and everything. And now I'm the girl in Black Uhuru and everything. And I told myself, wow, me I go to Rasta University. No, yes, I feel like me I go to Rasta University.
So how has that experience been for you? I mean, you're talking about the first recipients of a Reggae Grammy.
Yes, and it was a moment of pride for me. I stayed with them for 2 years because I still never got to sing my opening acting. I never get to do that part there. I still love Ducky and love Black Uhuru and everything, but never met me get to sing no song. And so I left because I really wanted to sing. I just didn't want to do background vocals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And while I enjoyed doing that, and jumping up and, flashing my weave and them something there, me really... yes. No, when I flash my weave, I think it's dreadlocks. I'm telling you. It's like that.
All right. Look here, now. We know exactly who you are now, JoJo. So I'm going to let my co-host ask the final question, and then we seal off this interview.
Yes.
What should we be expecting in the near future from JoJo-Mac?
Well, in the near future, I'm still working on the music. Right now there's a song out, there's an album out there called Get Out the Way that was released this year, and I did not get to tell you. See, you need a whole week for this. But I'm also an author. I published my first book, Secrets, Mixed Up Moods and Deadly Attitudes, in 2015, and last year I did part 2 of that book. So, called Secrets Unmasked, and I'm working on a third one called Jamaican Gangsta Girl. So, yeah, those are some things to look forward to, and I started working on my other album already, my next album. So, like I said, it's going to be a lot of conscious, reality-based tunes, somewhat like Fight for Life. So, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm looking forward to coming to Jamaica to show off myself to Jamaica, let them get a feel of me, see me, and know me for the first time. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to all of that stuff, and that's what's happening right now. People can find me on YouTube. I have a lot of things going on. I have a thing called From the Couch with JoJo-Mac, that I talk about my journey and, other things. And... I'm all over Instagram. I need to be more interactive with that as well. But, you can find me online everywhere. JoJo-Mac, Bad Singer Girl, them call me. I mean that.
All right. Well, I want to wish you all the best in everything that you are doing and everything you're getting ready to do, from being an artist to a news anchor to a author. Whatever endeavor that you're taking on, we just want to wish you all the best.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
thank
me
you
too.
guys so much. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Beauregard. And thank you, Troy Fenton, my brethren. Yeah.
I just got a note from Smart Kids. I know you did some work with him. And he just says, JoJo-Mac is a beautiful soul. So we've seen that. Wonderful meeting you. It's just 20 minutes, but we've learned so much about you. You're fun and you're very free. So we just love that. So
thank you. It was my pleasure.
Our pleasure too. So, Beauregard.
Always some interesting interviews going on here, Mama Kelly.
Yes, absolutely. So now when we see the name JoJo-Mac, we have a vivid picture in our minds.
Yes.
That makes a difference.
And I have some music to go acquire as well.
Yes. All right, wonderful. So want to say enough respect to your listeners on the Irie Jam Radio, and thanks for always joining us here on The Bridge.
Always a pleasure, Mama Kelly. Big respects to everyone who's logged in Jamaica, tuned in, listening each and every Tuesday and Thursday. And Mama Kelly, we spoke with Richie Spice last week. Just wanted you to know that I took that song and made it my hit pick of the week.
Wonderful. When we came off the air, Richie Spice's brother, Snatcher, the younger one, he turned to his brother and him say, "Them just make a hit out of that tune." And it's so true, absolutely. So another good reason for us to have these conversations with those in the fraternity.
True indeed.
All right, so bless up yourself and Most High willing Thursday, right?
Bless up, Mama Kelly. Speak to you on Thursday.
All right. You take care. All right. So a wonderful conversation with JoJo-Mac. Want to say enough respect to JoJo-Mac, to Troy. Thank you very much, Troy, for always introducing me to some wonderful artists that you come across. It's always a pleasure. Want to say a very special thank you to Danielle Mullings, the multi-dimensional Jamaican youth leader. We had a wonderful conversation with her. And of course, always want to bless up the tri-state. We always look forward to streaming live and joining you, the Caribbean diaspora, Jamaican diaspora, the African diaspora. A very special good afternoon, and most high willing, we do it again on Thursday. Want to remind you that Nikki Z comes up in a few. As I said, that she pulled the door. and also want to say a big thank you to the Un-Tengle team.